This meeting is being recorded.
Got it.
Okay, so welcome everyone. This is the NWACS evening seminar for parents and caregivers. And this year we are going through the Communication Bill of Rights. And tonight we are talking about rights 5 through 7.
Uh-oh, hang on, sorry. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Sorry. We got it.
I'm Margaret Edwards. I'm a speech therapist. And here with me is...
I'm Carolee Worth, and I'm also a speech language pathologist.
And looks like we have one other person here today with us in attendance. Is it Audrey?
Yep.
Hi, Audrey.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. And we're going to talk a little bit about who NWACS is, and then we'll go through our presentation, which is the Bill of Rights, 5 through 7. So NWACS is the Northwest Augmentative Communication Society. It was founded in the late 70s, and it is one of the longest running organizations of this type in the country. We have an annual conference. It is in October, and I can tell you now that we will have Chris Bouguet, sorry, not past his name, Chris Bouguet, along with
Rachel, I think it's Mandel is the last name.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So trust me, you do not want to miss it. So go ahead and get registered. And NWACS is run by volunteers, and we try to meet the needs of all things AAC. So if there's something that you need and can't find, just let us know. Shoot us an email.
Yeah.
So for tonight, we hope that you'll understand the importance of teaching choices and commenting and asking for and giving information. We hope that you will discover some new resources for supporting AAC users in these choices and comments and asking and giving information. And lastly, we hope that you will learn about a change in routine by giving access to multimodal AAC. Okay, so we've already talked about rights 1 through 4. It should be a website if you want to go back and listen to those. So we're going to jump right in with number 5. And number 5 is the right to make choices for meaningful alternatives. Also, this PowerPoint will be on the NWACS website in a couple of days. So you can click on that link where it says Communication Bill of Rights, and you can look at all the rights. So number 5 is the right to make choices for meaningful alternatives. And I underline meaningful because it's just that when we give our AAC users or anyone really a choice, they have to be things that they can really choose from, not something that's like something to trip them up or something like they really can't have, but you know they're not going to pick it because you want to make sure they're truly picking the right thing. So, and also to remember, choices are more than food. Sometimes we all, myself included, get stuck in having students only pick food items. Again, no tricks. There got to be 2 real choices. Just like everyone, AAC users might change their mind. So let's give them that opportunity, allow that. That's also just like everyone else. Maybe they don't want any of the choices you're offering them. And then also, if it's a choice, it's a choice. It's not something to be worked for. And Carolee, you said it better than I
forget how I said it. Yeah, so making a choice is something you get, but not something that you're earning, right? So an earned reward is something different and that can be given as a preferred item, but making a choice is, like you said, like they can have either one or indicate that they don't want either. So it's different. Making a choice to get something they want is different than getting a reward for something.
Correct. Yeah. Thank you, Carolee.
Yeah.
And next slide.
There we go.
So I just want you all to think about that we're always making choices. Like, for example, I decide what I'm going to wear, what I'm going to do to my hair, what I'm going to eat for breakfast, if I'm going to eat breakfast. When I hop in my car, I could pick so many choices with satellite radio. Sometimes I go to Starbucks, sometimes I don't. So we're constantly making choices. As an adult, children are also making choices. Carolee,
Yeah.
what?
So we were talking about, you were talking about which way to go to work. Today, I gave my daughter a choice for if she wanted some sausage with her breakfast or yogurt. So, I'm always making choices and offering choices, and either one of those were an option for her. When I go on a walk, I pick which way I'm going to go, if I'm, going to go up the hill or not today. So, yeah, lots of different choices throughout the day.
Yes, we all are. And that should include our students and especially our AAC users. So next slide is, so how do we teach choices? For model. If you listen to some of our other recordings, this is kind of sort of like a common theme. They have to know where to find their choices, whatever their choices are. Remember, it's not just food. Sometimes you might have to support them by getting to the page of the certain choice. So for example, if it's you're doing an art project, you might have to help the student navigate to their arts and crafts, so to speak, page, so that they can make choices about, having glitter, if they want the, liquid glue or a glue stick or things like that, all the choices that they can make. And then the other thing is really seems obvious, but really you have to give them choices. So sometimes as teachers and SLPs, we just want to jump in and do for our students, especially the AAC users, because honestly, AAC is slow. You have to give a lot of wait time. Um, so don't forget to give them choices, because sometimes it's just like done in haste. For teachers, you just want to, hurry up and get this thing done, but just to slow down and make sure that we're giving our AAC users choice. The AAC Lab, which is an online resource for teaching many things around AAC. There's the link in the reference list at the end. They have some lessons on how to teach users to make requests, making choices, and most AAC devices will have some keywords around making choices. So go, like if a student can choose to go somewhere, maybe go right or go left in the hall. Um, Go to the library or maybe they get a choice. They can go to the library or they can go to PE. Okay. Have is a word any person can use for making a choice. Can I have the pink flower? Can I have the red flower? And making a choice is also telling what you don't want. Like not wanting something, not wanting the chocolate chip cookie, wanting oatmeal. And then, of course, want is pretty much a standard go-to for teaching AAC users to make choices. And that brings us to communication right number 6, and that is the right to make comments and share opinion. And here's the thing that's really nice about opinions. You can give your opinion and you can't be wrong because it's your opinion. And everybody likes to give their opinion. And so we have to teach AAC users about giving their opinion, making comments, and again, find where in the AAC user's device are those kind of opinion giving words. And this might be found in more than one page, um, and commenting might be found in more than one page as well. And so the next slide shows, I think,
Mhm.
yes, a page. And this is TouchShot WordPower 108 with a keyboard. And this is the social folder. So we have to teach our AAC users, just as part of teaching AAC is navigation. So this is where they could navigate to make some comments.
Mhm.
Awesome, cool, great, something's funny. Um, just not neglecting these sort of comments that are on this page. Sometimes I would mostly before use this page just for saying hello, goodbye, or nice to meet you, or something like that. But there's a whole section of words over here that are comments that are pretty awesome that we can teach our AAC users to use. And modeling is a good way to start. So speaking of modeling, next page shows a system or a method for teaching modeling comments. Teachers or SLPs can, parents, modeling comments while reading. So during a shared reading activity, you could be sitting with the AAC user, looking at a book with pictures probably, and the first thing in this acronym CAR is comment. So the adult will comment. You could use some of the comments we saw on the previous page, and then you pause. and you wait to see if the AAC user will also give a comment. If not, just go on to the next acronym, which is A, which is ask for participation. Usually that's done by asking a question, and the questions are the crowd in the card, but we won't go into that. You can kind of look it up later if you're really interested. And then you respond by adding a little more. But this CAR method, just the first thing is comment. We're modeling commenting, and then in hopes that eventually the AAC user will also start to comment. There's a video you can watch later. There's also a link for Literacy for All that talks a little bit about CAR and shared reading. Again, this will be on the website, and you can click on those links and have a closer look at this method of teaching commenting. And were you gonna go, Carolee?
No. I think they're the blog, right? Were you done
Yes, the
with
blog.
lesson? Okay.
Yeah. So again, our website, NWACS website, we have blogs and lots of different topics, but this link will take you to a blog. I hope will take you to a blog about the Bill of Rights, the right to comment.
So for the seventh right, the right to ask for and give information, it includes getting information or including information about changes in routine and environment. The first few points I'm going to stress is that we need to give access and teach these words before we can ever expect to use them. So my recommendations for this is to think about AAC as a multimodal. So we can have our high-tech or robust vocabulary systems that we're also still using with low-tech or simpler forms. So you might have, a touch chat or Proloquo or Grid or any other dynamic system, and then be pairing it with the use of a core board for a low-tech board specific to a topic. You can use picture schedules. This is an example of a first then. So really thinking about what we're changing their environment, right? And knowing what's coming next and being able to give that information. So you can write things out and communicate also. You can still use your hands and sign things paired with your verbal words. So just a friendly reminder that AAC can include all of these all at the same time. It doesn't have to be just one. I'm often pairing 2 or 3 at least in my practice. So, using a high-tech system and either pointing to a picture, using a picture, using a sign with a word. So here's a couple of examples when we're talking about asking and giving information, especially a change in a routine. So it might be hard to understand just what's happening based on the words. So a couple of resources. This is an example of a mini schedule that's already made for you. It's from the PECS USA. There's also one that's a little bit longer that could go through the full day. So you can, talk about first we're going to school, then we're going to the park, then we're going to grandma's, or break it down even smaller, first undo backpack, then circle time, and then it's snack or whatever the schedule is. But you can also use higher tech options too. And so using an app for a first then. This is an example from AssistiveWare, Pictello. These are just 2 examples. There's many, many more out here. And this next slide is a little overwhelming, so don't feel too overwhelmed. Lots of different resources, though, that you can poke around and just start exploring options for use. So a lot of these listed are apps, but like I said, I put on the PECS USA store. They have the visual schedules. You can also consider searching on Etsy or Teachers Pay Teachers. You can make your own, or even a Google search. So just thinking about needing to model, first we're going to go play, then we're going to eat, or whatever the first then or the 2 or 3 steps is, showing them how to use those pictures and talking about a change in events. We have to model that before they can ever use it, any of our users. So the next thing I'm going to touch on is a couple of real life examples. So asking and giving information. So expanding and modeling. And as Margaret talked or spoke about it just a minute ago, more than just saying I want or more than just requesting food. An example is one of my clients says home. And so I often model a variety of phrases. I anticipate he's telling me he wants to go home. So he's giving me information. I'm ready to go home. So I'm expanding, I am ready. Or you could say, I want to go home, but we're thinking beyond just saying want. Asking for information. So he's, saying home and looking to me or looking to a parent. I would model then, when do I go home? And when I say model, I'm using my device or showing him on his device where those words are. Other questions we talk about, how many more minutes? I swear some of my kids have an internal clock, and after 30 minutes, they know it's time to go. So we often have to negotiate sometimes about if we have 5 or 10 more minutes or 12 or so those are just some examples for how to go beyond just saying like I want to go home. Really, asking when do I go home, or how many more minutes, asking questions and giving information. Another one that I have, just a lot of our kiddos are so good at using nouns. So they might say SUV, again, indicating I'm ready to go, giving information. So I might model, can we go? Or indicate a model sharing information, I'm ready to go. A couple of other examples moving beyond thinking about just asking for help or say, I want help or help me. You can model a question, will you help me? Or making a statement or kind of asking for information, or not asking for information, making a statement or giving the information, I need help. So just kind of thinking outside different ways to say the same thing. Help is very communicative, but then we want to expand and model what how that utterance could become longer or help give them different meanings to it. Same thing with cookies, because that's just a great example. This cookies, great. Are you asking where are the cookies? Are you telling me I like cookies? Are you sharing information saying these are yummy cookies? So these are just some examples of how you can expand and model as a communication partner. So whether you're a speech therapist, you're a parent, you're a caregiver, you're a friend, you're a teacher, you're a para, these are just some ideas to get you thinking about what that child's really maybe saying, or showing them how to ask those questions. So a couple of resources just at the end, some of these we've talked about before, but if you're new tonight or if you're watching this and want to go poke around, what are the Bill of Rights? There's a link there, a link to ASHA, a couple other websites that we've referenced for frequently. Saltillo has some great strategies for implementation, some shared reading, the CAR resource, as well as AAC Language Lab and lesson plans. Those, they give some great strategies for how to teach some of the concepts that we've talked about. We kind of went through that quickly. We're kind of wrapping up here at the end. If anybody has any questions, you can always type in the chat box. I'll have Margaret take a peek there, or you're welcome to speak up, but don't feel that you have to. So just if you have any questions, now would be a great time. If not, we'll just, oh, do you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question back on the page where you had the little PEX things and then the higher tech option. Yeah. It looked like there was a timer on the right-hand side. Is that part of that one high-tech option, or is that a separate timer?
That's a good question. Let me see, Margaret, can I go back when I'm presenting? Oh, hold on. Okay, just a second. Let me poke back. Sorry, I'm not usually the one running the okay, is this the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
So on the right,
there's
a timer.
So, each app is a little bit different, and I provided a couple of them. But I have not actually used this one. I have used ChoiceWorks. Margaret, have you used this one? Can you speak to how that might work?
I have used Patel, but not in this way. I've used it for storytelling. Are you looking for an app that's a timer?
Well, he has buttons. I put buttons on there, like the advice I got from the speech therapist is like, he wants everything to be finished. Anything that involves work has to be finished. So she said to me to put a button on there that says, when will this be finished? So he's got great. That button, but we've tried to use timers with them before, but I don't think we had one that was red, yellow, and green. So I was thinking, I would look into that timer. Like he has a Accent 1000. He just got that last year from PRC. But he has profound intellectual disability, so like he can't read words.
That's okay.
He's familiar with, the PCS symbols, which I think they might be phasing them out or something at PRC.
Yeah. So I think so. Thank you for sharing some of that background information. I am sorry I don't have more experience with this app. I think that there are some that do provide settings that you can go in and set the timer. But as we're talking about using different modalities, there is also a resource, the time timer, which is a visual. They can be a little expensive, but there's 3 different sizes. You could always look on a OfferUp or something too if somebody's trying to sell them. Time timer, and it's a red visual that then as the time goes by, so say it's a quarter, 15 minutes, then it slowly disappears. So it gives some visual. It's not multicolored. So that's one option. And I think I was going to go just click over to one more. Oh, sorry, hold on. Okay. Get Goalie. They also have some visual timers in there as well. I haven't used that one either. But I know that there's some timers. So you might want to just look into both of those, and you might have to try 1 or 2 of them to see which one might work best.
Yep.
Is that helpful?
Okay. Yes, it is. I really appreciate this.
And that's a great phrase to have in there. Just wanted to say good job, for putting that in there and having it. And so even if you find he's just a recommendation, if you find maybe the child gets a little antsy, I don't know him, but if you can model, when are we finished? You can model for that pause, and then you could go and show him, 5 more minutes on the timer, or we're done at noon, or whatever it is. So I often use a beepy timer with clients, like a stopwatch type thing, or I'll write out, we're done at 1:40, we're done at 2:30, so that they know. And then we talk about how many more minutes, 8 more minutes. So it might be something that it's not just a one-time answer. You might have to repeat it 2 and 3 times.
Oh, sure. Yep.
And then fade it out. But that's a really good question. And I hope you have some success finding something that works.
Thanks. Me too.
Yeah. Do you have any other questions about the timers or those recommendations?
No, I'm anxious to maybe tomorrow or Thursday, click on some of these links. So if I get the slides, I can play around with it, like the Get Goalie one, or I think Saltillo is hooked up with the PRC. So I think I was there, but I didn't know the first thing you said about that. It was like how to teach something. It was at the bottom of one of the first pages. See, I'll look at this all when I get the email.
Oh, I was trying to go back. Was it this one or a different one?
I think it was before this one. It was further back.
We need to teach them before we can expect them to use, or further back?
No, further back. It was something that was available on the AAC library. I think it's something that I've seen through the PRC website.
Oh, it might be the language lab, I think. The literacy and language lab. I think we talked about that. Sorry, hopefully I'm not making anybody sick who is watching this again. So we're going to go to the reference page. So down here, this last spot, the last bottom, the last one at the bottom. It's been a long day. Yes, AAC Language Lab, PRC Saltillo, they have some great resources in there. Sometimes it does take a little poking around. I myself find that I will find something that's great and then go back and I can't find it. And it's just, you got to look in there. So they also have a chat corner from the main website. If you Google chat corner or low tech options, there's also some really nice implementation strategies in there. but
Yeah.
Othello has a lot of great resources. So
But-
anyone watching this, want to go poke around on these websites, these are just some suggestions, and even the list of apps. That doesn't mean you have to use one of those, but sometimes when you look at one, it'll, something will pop up, or these are similar ones. And so you can find the one that might work best for you, or the one that you think might work best for your child.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. So we're so glad you joined us tonight. And we hope that, like Margaret said, we're here to serve you. So if there's something that you feel like you want to learn more about, please, you can send us an email or pop a message in the chat. We're going to be back here in July talking about the next few rights in the Communication Bill of Rights. And then we'll have 2 more in September and November. So every other month. The dates might change, but that's our plan so far. So ways you can get connected if you're new with NWACS or joining us tonight or stumbled upon this, you can always get involved with NWACS. There's some links to social media, our presence on Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, and YouTube. If you are on Facebook, we do have the second link down here, a Communication Caregivers Society. Northwest Augmentative Communication Caregiver Society. So a special group just for caregivers. So a way that you can reach out, make connections with families that are in the area, ask questions, share resources. So wanted to point you specifically to that group. And then I think that might be it. I think we're at the end because it's not going again. Any other questions?